So there you go. I use little surprises and gifts and things as a way of easing tension when I know I don't feel well and I don't want to deal with any kind of conflict or issue in advance of things. So there is one parenting fail in advance. Um, and I won't make excuses for that. I have some health issues and I take shortcuts sometimes. Hey guys, Wendy here. I am coming to you from the future when I am editing today's video, and I just realized that I did not do an intro. So, if you're new here, my name is Wendy, and I am a mother to a severely autistic teen boy and a developmental psychologist. And if you are just seeing one of my videos for the first time, you're jumping in the middle of a series of vlogs in which I have started to observe my own parenting behaviors. And what I realized is a permissive parenting style. And I have talked before in one of my educational videos in what I discuss as parenting styles. There are 4 of them, and one of them is permissive parenting. And you can follow along on any of the other videos I've done in either this vlog series or that educational video to figure out what those 4 parenting styles are and which ones are good ones and which ones are not good ones. And I think I talk a little bit about that in this vlog as well. But this is one of the observations in which I am just observing the ways in which I am permissive so that I can start to understand the circumstances when I start to give into what my son wants, because I think that one of the biggest reasons that we see problem behavior from him is because I'm permissive, or that's one of the things that contributes to some of his problem behaviors. There's a whole lot of other complex things that I talk about in these vlogs as well. So if you're joining me for the first time, you are starting to see some of these observations, and I will hand you over to that Wendy to talk about those observations now. Hey guys, here is a quick check-in for yesterday, since I'm kind of doing this observation of my permissive parenting style and how I tend to give in to Lev and his requests for things. So yesterday, he didn't even have a chance to ask for anything before I gave in. I had a pizza from Little Caesars waiting for him, and that was because I didn't feel very good and I didn't feel very well. And I knew that he was going to ask for something, and I didn't want to get into a thing with him. I didn't want to put up with anything, and I knew that if I just got him something in advance and surprised him, he would be happy, and that would head off any kind of tension or conflict in advance. So there you go. I use little surprises and gifts and things as a way of easing tension when I know I don't feel well and I don't want to deal with any kind of conflict or issue in advance of things. So there is one parenting fail in advance. And I won't make excuses for that. I have some health issues and I take shortcuts sometimes. I have a lot of health issues that we're trying to figure out, and it's no surprise. I mean, the stress that I deal with has run me down. And one of the reasons that I stopped working full time is that I couldn't handle my health issues and a job and my son and all the other things that go on in life. And I had to make choices. I couldn't continue to prioritize everything, and I couldn't be good at everything and give equal weight to everything. And I had to figure out what really mattered in my life. And, my son had to be one of those things. And I still have some really tough days. I've lost a lot of weight, and the doctor has been really good at trying to figure out what's wrong and what things he can help me with. And I have some really bad days, especially when the weather is bad. I get a lot of inflammation and pain. Anyway, so yesterday was one of those days, and in order for me to be able to deal with my pain and not give Lev a chance to get out of control, I ordered him pizza and had it waiting when he got home, and that made him pretty happy. But he's also really smart, and he knows that when I've done something like that, I'm trying to make him happy, and he immediately starts asking for things to see what he can get away with. He's such a clever boy. So he saw his pizza and was happy, and then asked if I would take him to his favorite trampoline park. And I said I didn't feel well. And I think he kind of knows that when I do things like that, I'm not feeling well. But he still has to shoot his shot and see if maybe he can get something out of me. But he understood, and he was really good about it. And sometimes when I say that, he gets really sad, and it makes him anxious, and he doesn't know what to expect. Like, is mommy not going to be able to get out of bed? And it used to really make him crazy because I had a period where I was really sick. Like I was in so much pain all the time. About 2 or 3 years where when I was working full time as a professor, um, I mean, I would teach my classes, and when I was putting my lessons together, I would do it from bed because I was in so much pain all the time. I mean, it was so hard for me to live a functional life. And it got so bad. It got so bad. I mean, I couldn't even go for a walk without being in excruciating pain. And I think he was afraid for a while that I would be like that all the time. So sometimes when I say I feel sick, he gets a little bit of anxiety, but I think he's seen me over the last couple of years be a lot better since I quit working and got control of my diet and lost weight and take care of myself a lot better. And I know when I'm going to have a bad day, I know cues that the pain is coming and I get ahead of it and things like that. And he doesn't see me like, you know, completely off my feet anymore. His anxiety's gotten a lot better. But anyway, he responds really well now and understands that I won't be able to do all the things that he asks for. So he handled it really well yesterday. And he got his pizza. And I told him that when Daddy got home from work, he would take him to the store. And he waited patiently for that. But he played really nicely alone most of the day and behaved really well. And I checked in on him, and we joked about things. And he was in a great mood. He did silly things. He has a really good sense of humor when he is coming on days that he is really organized. Like, when I say organized, I mean his behavior. He has days where his behavior is really organized, where he can, put good sentences together and he can follow a schedule without having to look at cues. And he is just on top of it. And those are what I call his, organized days. And those days where he's really disorganized and dysregulated and where he is just unable to follow a conversation, where he can't follow through on requests or demands, where, he can't really understand his scheduler's routine without looking at a piece of paper that tells him what's going on that day. And it's hard to know, why he has some better days and not so good days. And, we've spent years trying to figure out what helps him and what doesn't. And anyway, yesterday was a really good day. And when he has those really good days, he can tell jokes. Like he will make funny play on words kind of jokes. Um, and he will do really silly things. Like he likes to put jelly on his hamburgers. And he came up with that on his own. And he'll go downstairs and ask if he can put jelly on his hamburger. And I'll let him. And he will put chocolate on his French fries and ask for chocolate syrup. And we'll laugh and he'll eat it and, do silly things like that. Anyway, so he was really good and we'd had no behaviors, and he didn't freak out when I told him I didn't feel well because I didn't lay down in bed and I didn't get grumpy or anything like that. I still sat at my computer and I worked on editing videos. And when he came to ask me if we could go somewhere, I would say, I don't feel that well, baby. Maybe tomorrow. And, he was good. So, my general observations for yesterday were that I leveraged something that I know he would request to get ahead of behavior. And that maybe wasn't the best parenting approach. I used it because I didn't feel well, and it was kind of an excuse and an easy way out for me. And I need to note that. I mean, I did. And look for a better approach to that in the future. If I don't feel well, what can I do? Because that's sort of an abuse of something that I know is emotionally important to him. And that wasn't good. So what do I do instead? If I don't feel well, what do I do to let him know that without using a thing that I know he cares about to kind of win him over for the day? But on the other hand, he read that cue and tried to find a way in to ask for more and handled it really well. When I denied his request, he was still really good about it. And part of why he was able to do that was because it was a good day for him. He was organized and able to handle the rejection. He could, one of the things I say is that he doesn't have a lot of, ability to control his impulses all the time. But when he's organized, like he was yesterday, he does. And he also didn't have the initial impulse to aggression, like he sometimes does. He didn't feel that frustration when I said no. And maybe it's because he had already gotten something that he had wanted, like pizza, so the rejection didn't hit as hard. He was also having a good day, so he was able to feel good about the rejection. Um, he also understood that I wasn't feeling well, so he was emotionally able to process that he didn't want to make me feel worse, which he is usually actually really good at now. Um, I have had talks with him about how he is a young man now and he can help me when I don't feel well, and I don't always have to take care of him. And he really understands things like that when I talk to him like a grown up, when I try to say things to him that talk to him about responsibility and about being a big kid and doing things that big kids do, and sharing with him that there are differences between when he was younger and now that he's a young man. And I think he really appreciates it. Today on our way to school, recently the king visited and was meeting with the president, and it was on the news on the way to school. And I was telling him that the King of England was here, and he understands. He loves to look at the flags and different countries and listen to different languages on YouTube, and he will mimic different accents. And he talks about UK English and how it's different from American English, and he picks up on those things, and he loves to understand those kinds of things when he investigates on YouTube videos and cartoons and things. So I was explaining to him that the King of England was here and that England is the UK and that the king speaks in UK English and that America used to be part of the UK. And I was giving him a little bit of history lesson and explaining why the king was here. And he was so interested and engaged, and he was repeating the things that I was saying, which is echolalia, but my son uses it functionally to let you know that he is absorbing what you're saying. When he repeats what you're saying, it's not just echolalia, it really is for him a confirmation that he is hearing and trying to understand what you're saying. And in a lot of ways, he will also use it to ask you to repeat something that he's not understanding or to confirm something again. So he uses it very functionally, and it's a way for him to be engaged in a conversation with you. And it was so cool. The point is that he really hears me when I try to have conversations with him that elevate him above how people treat him a lot of the time. That let him know he's a big kid and a young man and that he can grow up in different ways when we trust him to. So I think when I tell him things like, I'm not feeling well and you can help me, he does want to. And if he's in a place where he can control his body a little bit and his emotions are okay, he does try to be a young man that helps his mom out. So yesterday was a good day in this dynamic of him wanting something and me saying no. But it was not great in the way that I used the fact that I knew he would want something in order to lessen my burden when I wasn't feeling well. So we'll see how he handled today. On his way to school today, he had already made a list of what he wanted after school. So he's expecting me to take him somewhere after school, and he had 2 places in mind. And I did not say no. So we're going to have to negotiate this. Do I say no after school, even though he had already agreed or he had already asked and I had not denied it? I had not agreed and I had not denied. It is a rainy day. And the reason I'm hesitating is that he gets really scared and anxious in the rain. And he did not want to go to school today. And it's almost like a bribe when he goes to school on a day like this where he's really scared and he begs me to stay home. And I know that they don't handle it really well at school, because on a day like this where it's raining and he's home, he would be hiding in the closet and he would not come out most of the day while it's cloudy. Sorry, my allergies are so bad. While it's cloudy and rainy, he would be hiding in the closet. And I made him go to school. And he was asking for something in advance as like a negotiation with me. If I go to school, can I have Krispy Kreme and McDonald's? And he was carrying a McDonald's Happy Meal box that he ordered on eBay from way back when, which he does. He has a debit card that I give him an allowance on, and it's hooked up to an eBay account, and he will order things. And if it doesn't go through, he doesn't have enough money. And if it does go through, he gets to order it, and he gets an allowance for doing chores and things around the house. So he ordered one, and he wants to fill it with things from McDonald's now that he has his box. And he was kind of asking, like, okay, I'm going to school without giving you any trouble, even though it's raining and I'm scared. And can I go to Krispy Kreme and get something and go to McDonald's and fill my box, kind of thing. And, I was kind of pushing him to go to school, and I was saying, no, you're not staying home today. And I was not saying no to his request. And I'm feeling bad about it already because I know he was saying, I'm going to go to school. Can I please have this thing? I'm not being a bad boy. I'm not giving you trouble, but I'm really scared and I don't want to go to school. And I'm already feeling the guilt of making him go to school and knowing that he was trying to negotiate with me. And I know he was really scared to go to school. So, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to say no to him or how I'm going to negotiate it or what I'm going to do. But this week isn't really about me saying no or changing my behaviors yet. It's about me understanding my behaviors and why I say yes and under what circumstances and what that looks like. So I'm learning and reflecting and trying to catch myself. So already I've caught myself trying to make things easier on myself when I don't feel well. And I'm already catching myself today feeling guilty and giving in before I've even picked him up from school. All right, I will catch you guys up on how this goes probably tomorrow or later today. Bye. Until next time, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and stay safe out there. Oh, yeah, and like, subscribe, follow along, comment if you want. Till next time.